Hello, 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 my favorite friends. Hello. So I'm Olivia, and I know some of you guys in here in YouTube. I'm going to be uploading this video to my Facebook group, so that's why I said in here. But if you do not know me, my name's Olivia. I am a recovering person. I'm in recovery. I identify as an addict, and I have 9 years, over 9 years clean. I will have 10 years, God willing, 9/11. So that is my clean date, September 11th, 2012. And I also am a alcohol and drug counselor in the state of Oregon. So I got on here to talk to you guys about something that's really, really important to me in my life, in my family's life, in my audience life, and that is my book. So I wrote a book, and it's called Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Workbook for Adults. Learn skills to improve your anxiety, depression, and self-esteem to become more positive, and escape your mental imprisonment using CBT. So when I say escape your mental imprisonment, it means that sometimes our thoughts and our cognitions hold us captive, and kind of restrain us from living our best life. I know that sounds very, catchphrasy and cheesy, but truly, when I've taught CBT classes in the past, I've told my clients, hey, like I had this dude once that I dated, and he was like this whatever, whatever, right? It was how we feel about exes. But he would always say this to me. He would say, feelings aren't facts. And I hated it. I would be like, what do you mean feelings aren't facts? Like my feelings are totally facts. And you know what he had to say holds merit. And I talk about that in the book. So, let's see. The other day, I was in a Marco Polo type group for my recovery, and someone had said your feelings are totally validated, like your feelings are real to another woman. So if you're experiencing like an emotion, that's very real. And I'm not arguing that fact at all. I think that our feelings are real, but the difference between, like reality and not reality is that when it comes to our feelings and emotions, we can choose to feed into them. We can choose if they're real or not, because our cognitions, our actual prefrontal cortex, our fancy machinery. So I guess the fancy part of our brain is a lot more evolved than our emotional being. So we have the biggest prefrontal cortex of any species. And that, of course, is, the front part of our brain. And it's where we do all our thinking, our decision making. We weigh out like morality choices, good and bad. And is this something I should really be doing? And it's where we get all our comprehension from. So when I say cognitions, I'm really talking about our thought processes that come from our prefrontal cortex, our superior species, part of the brain, pretty much. And so when we can kind of tune in to what types of thoughts our streaming, our live streaming, throughout the day, that means that we get to be in control. Like, we are the ones that hold the remote to what is going on between our ears, right? So we truly are in charge. And I'm not saying that, severe and chronic mental health disorders and illnesses don't exist, because they absolutely do. But with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, it is a very effective therapy for conditions like anxiety, depression, some borderline personality disorders, body focused repetitive behaviors. Really, the list goes on and on, like phobias. And so I am passionate about it because it was actually delivered to me in the way of the CBT is predominantly used not only in corrections, but in the field of recovery, which, I've been working in as a substance abuse counselor. So when you're talking about addressing the stuff that keeps people like myself, people that identify with the disease of addiction, in an active cycle of behavior that contributes to coping by using a substance, you are talking about what is it that's going on the inside. And that's inside, our bodies and our minds, and how we're reacting to stuff. So in CBT, we address um the thought patterns. We address what are your values and what are your beliefs, because your beliefs are what drive your behavior. So if an event happens to me, somebody, cuts me off in traffic, I could think, oh my gosh, that person must be a total a-hole douchebag. Therefore, they did that to me on purpose. And I have some cognitions going. I have some thought processes going while this is happening. And I come to the conclusion that that person deserves me to drive aggressively up, like totally get behind them and retaliate for their actions, right? Because their actions aren't okay. And that person, all of a sudden, because they're a douchebag, they deserve to be met with the same type of behavior. So it takes a belief system set in place in order for an occurrence like that to happen. So if my belief system is it's okay to do something like that so long as the person deserves it, then my behavior is going to be just that. It's going to be that I aggressively speed up and I try to get, tailgate him and get as close as I can to show him how very wrong he was for cutting me off, right? But say that a thought that the same exact situation happens, right? Where you get cut off in traffic, and the first cognition thought that pops into your head is, oh, that person probably didn't see me, or oh, that person, might not have been paying close attention. Your reaction is going to be totally different, right? So that would set off a sequence of, probably there wouldn't be that anger attached to it. There wouldn't be the cognitions to follow to try to, get even or show them, that they shouldn't drive that way. So it's all about our cognitions come into play and our belief systems come into play. And how we react in our daily lives. So, it's really interesting because the other day I went to the gym and I posted a gym video on my TikTok account. And by the way, it's really hard to keep up on. Excuse me. It's really hard to keep up on TikTok. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post every day. No, I can't do it. It's too much. It's too much to keep up on. Well, so I'm passionate about CBT because I struggle with my own negative self-talk. I think of it as like this little nagging part of my brain that is settled back somewhere back here that tries to nag at me, and it has to be met with me doing work every single day. It has to be combated. And I was telling a friend this the other day. I have to combat my negative self-talk with practicing what I teach, right? I do CBT. So if I have a thought like, "Oh, you're not going to work out good anyways when you get to the gym, Olivia. Like, who are you kidding? Why would you even try to go?" The fact is like in that moment, I have trained myself enough and I've practiced CBT enough to where I can go, hold up, little lady. Whoa, why are you thinking that way? Right. And I'm able to identify that thought as basically my mind is trying to attack me, trying to get me to a place where my behavior is I don't end up going to the gym. And then it creates a shame cycle where I am mad at myself because I didn't make it. I feel embarrassed because told the gym manager that I was going to try to make more of an effort by coming around more, because I actually am going to be teaching a CBT class at my local gym in Redmond. And so I would start on this thought cycle, this shame cycle of not going, then feeling bad about not going, and then not wanting to go because I feel bad about not going before. And so what happened the other day when I went was I was able to identify that I was having a cognitive distortion. I was able to act as if. So what I ended up doing was thought to myself, okay, that's fine. That's just a thought. And I was like, okay, hi, basically like, hi thought. All right. I see you. I acknowledge you. I get that you're like trying to bring me down right now. And went ahead and went into my room and got my gym clothes on, and I ended up going anyways. And even still, like on my way there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and only work out for a few minutes. I'm not really gonna give it my best effort. And those negative self-talks, negative self-thoughts inside my inner dialogue were still happening, right? And I thought, well, I'm just going. And wanted you know it, once I got there, I would, I like settled in, was comfortable, ended up like finding someone that was doing a workout and joined her. And it was just this amazing thing that happens when we're able to act as if. But if I had not known that I could treat my thought for what it is, just a thought, and not just believe every thought that comes to my mind, then I wouldn't have gone. And then, like I said before, I would have gotten onto that shame cycle. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess that's my little story for today is that not every thought that we have is valid. Not every thought that we have is true. Most of our thoughts are actually coming from our belief systems that were instilled in us from a younger age. Um, we are a makeup of every experience we've ever had up until this very moment. So that means that, things that were taught to you in childhood and adolescence, maybe, even early adulthood, became ingrained in you and became your core self, your core beliefs. So my challenge for you is to get into CBT, learn about it. And if you actually work with a CBT therapist, they are trained to work with you to actually give you the tools like what I just talked about, what I was able to work through on my own to become your own CBT therapist so that you have these skills and these tools that you're not just going to be able to use while you're in therapy for, 8 months, a year, several years, but you're able to further down the road do on your own to where you get to lead a more productive life where you believe that you deserve, goodness in your life. You believe that you deserve the relationships that you have. You believe that you deserve to take good care of yourself, and that's what CBT truly can do for us all. So, if you are listening to this video and you want a free copy of my book, I have decided that I want to give my audience copies of my book because I truly am not in it for any other reason that I want people to experience healing and I want to be able to help people. So if you are interested in that, my email list to get on my email list is awaken your mind with cbt.com. So if you actually type that into your browser, it will pop up with a page and you can put your first name and your email and you will get placed onto my master email list. And that means that when I go to email out, resources and CBT materials and other mental health related tools and materials, you're going to be included on my master list and I will send you a free copy of my book. So everybody take really good care of yourselves today. And yeah, just remember that you deserve all the happiness in the world and to take care of yourself. Bye-bye.